let's talk about the iPhone Fold and why I'm not sure it's going to live up to the expectations that maybe are being set for it, but I think it's going to be helpful for the entire foldable phone industry. Hear me out. So, foldable phones, they're not new, right? They've been around for a while. I've got some amazing ones I've made videos about, like the Oppo Find N6, the Honor Magic V6, the Motorola Razr Fold. And I love folding phones. The Pixel 10 Pro Fold, which I've got over here somewhere in this pile of folding phones. And Apple, for the longest time, has neglected this category. I don't know if they didn't feel like there was enough interest in it. I don't know if they felt like they needed to compete in that sector or what, but they have finally dragged themselves to the starting line in 2026, as we're on the basically the 8th version of the Samsung Galaxy, with the Z Fold 8 supposed to come out probably in less than 2 months. So the iPhone Fold, I think I've got a couple different thoughts on it. One, I think that it's important, and not because Samsung and Oppo and Vivo and all these folks are not doing a good job with foldable phone market, but Apple, basically seen as like the largest phone manufacturer player basically in the world, is they bring a lot of legitimacy to things. And I think we're past the legitimacy conversation, right? Because normally what happens with Apple is they get into a product category after it's already been started, and then they make a product that everybody wants. Like the AirPods, the iPad. Like, they didn't make the first tablet, they didn't make the first earbuds, they didn't make the first smartphone. But when they came along and made them a couple years later than everybody else, then it's like everybody jumped on board. And it's weird because this time it's taken them like 8 years. Not a year, not 2 years, not 3 years, not 4 years, but about 8 years behind the power curve. So I think it will bring some more legitimacy to the category, but I don't think it's going to establish the category. And this, I think, will be different for Apple because Samsung's been doing it for a long time. Even Motorola is doing it now. Google's making folding phones, right? So I think it's important. And for people who love foldable phones, I think this will be exciting because there are people who carry around an iPhone who look at something like this and go, I want this. I want this in my pocket, but with iOS on it. So I think that'll be good. So, yes, they're going to invent foldable phones once the phone comes out. Presumably, it'll be here in September when the iPhone 18 comes out. Granted, it shows up on time. I'm seeing everything. I was reading an article yesterday. It's like, oh, production problems, having an issue making them, going into full production. Are they going to come out this year, next year? Like, there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of clickbait. There's a lot of stupid stuff floating around the internet about the iPhone Fold. Anything to get clicks. So I expect it to be here in September when the new iPhones come out. I will get one because I cover folding phones, I cover iPhones, I cover Android phones, I cover all sorts of manufacturers, and I am looking forward to it because I want to see what Apple can do in this space, because I've tested it out in so many other different companies and manufacturers, brands, all that different stuff, different flavors, but not yet in the iPhone world. So I think it's going to make people happy. One. Two, I think it will still bring some legitimacy. And I talked about this previously where I said that them joining the fray of this foldable phone revolution, like the rising tide will lift all the ships up. So I think what it will do is, one, there will be people who are excited because they'll be like, oh, iPhone Fold is here. That's so cool. I'm going to go get one. And then there'll also be people who are like, okay, now that I've seen what iPhone can do, maybe it's not as great as I thought it was going to be, and maybe I'll finally go ahead and get a Samsung or a Motorola or Google or an Oppo or whatever in the world you want to get. So I think it will have an effect on the market in both ways. I think it will increase folding phone sales for Android as well. Of course, we're going with the iPhone Fold as well. Now, everybody thinks this is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread because, of course, Apple is doing it. But Apple has had their moments where we've seen some weakness, especially in the last couple of years. Apple Vision Pro, maybe. And it is a revolutionary product. And I think that they're the ones that needed to do it to help spearhead along the revolution in XR, AR, VR, all those things, different headsets. And we're seeing more things come out of it now. More of, we see what we want, but also what we don't want, because the headset is very big, it's very heavy, it's about $4,000 with taxes. And we need lighter, we need more mobility, we need cheaper. And, And we're starting to get that with some other manufacturers. I mean, take a look at the Galaxy XR headset with Samsung, which is about $1,800. So, I mean, there's a big difference there in price and capability, but also it's very good. So, it'll be interesting to see it, but I don't think it's going to be perfect. And why? Because Apple's never particularly been great when it comes to multitasking, and it's dragged its feet, kicking and screaming, with like iPad OS and finally adding some different things in that to make it better at multitasking. But Android, at least in my opinion, has always been better at multitasking. And they've had a lot of years to sort this out. We have come a long way from the first Z Fold to Z Fold 2. Well, what even the Z Fold then? It was just a Fold. And then they changed the name, added the Z, got the Z Fold, Z Fold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with the 8 coming out. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of support, a lot of different things you need for compatibility purposes, for app scaling, just to make sure everything runs right. I don't think it's going to be as smooth and refined out of the gate as some people think that it might be. And that's normal because there's so many different games, so many different apps, so many things. It is basically the largest platform in the United States. There are like 1 billion people to use iPhones, right? So there's a lot of expectations that go there, and we've already had issues when it comes to like iOS and the latest version and things running right and making sure it works right on each phone and bugs, and then don't even get me started on autocorrect. Like it's a moving target. It's not a perfect thing. Like it's not a perfect thing. And then also, finally, gotta look at price and features, right? So from what I've seen, and I saw a dummy unit floating around today, maybe I'll talk about that more later. Looks like there's going to be 2 cameras on the back. It looks like an Apple version of the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide that we're expecting to come out in probably just less than 2 months. And looks like 2 cameras on the back. Looks like the same passport style dimensions, like not as tall and narrow as like the Razr Fold, but very much like what we expect with the Z Fold 8, where it's like a little bit shorter, a little bit wider, gives you that wide screen aspect ratio, which I think is ideal for content, which is ideal for gaming, watching movies, different things like that. And I think is maybe a little bit less cumbersome and also a little bit less overwhelming when somebody tries to move over to this category. Because remember, when we first got like the Z Fold 2, 3, like they were much narrower, much like unimposing phones. And now it's basically the same size as your normal phone, and then about out it pops open, and then you've got this big thing in your hand walking around with a giant folding phone, which I think has a lot of benefits, and I love folding phones. So yeah, price is going to be one thing. I expect it to be over $2,000. I've been saying for the longest time, probably $2,299, $2,400, something around that price point. We'll see if Apple surprises me, but Apple customers, of course, will pay it because the Apple tax, and just to have the latest, coolest, because it will be a status symbol. Just like the Apple Vision Pro, just like an iPhone 17 Pro Max. They are status symbols, and people like to have the latest and the greatest and the coolest and the most expensive, and I fall in the same category. I get all the same latest phones when they come out. I like having them. So it'll be interesting to see, one, how well it performs when it shows up. One, what kind of specs we've got. And of course, it'll have the latest, greatest chipset and all those different things. And also, we've had this problem with the RAM apocalypse over the last year where RAM prices has skyrocketed, increasing the prices of a lot of things, even phones, by like $100 here and there and different things like that. And I don't think Apple maybe can be immune, or maybe might take as an opportunity to pass the buck off because the phone's going to be so expensive already anyway, which I think it will be, have some exclusivity in price. I don't think it's going to be something everybody goes and buys, because like $2,000 is a stinking lot of money for a phone. And we've seen that with Samsung, and we see that almost, very close pricing with Google with their foldable, Razr with their foldable, and it's Apple. So yeah, I fully expect probably $2,299, $2,400, something like that. And I don't want to pay for it. I mean, I will, because I'm a phone addict, and also because I make videos on my channel. But yeah, it's going to be expensive. And we'll see how Apple and Apple customers respond to that, because we've only experienced that in the Android world for now. And if it wasn't worth it with Android, is it going to now be worth it with Apple? How is the crease going to be? We know Samsung is making the screen for it. Will it be creaseless? Will it be the best screen you can get in a foldable? Because, well, iPhone, it doesn't have the brightest, best screen that you can get in any phone that's out there. So there's a lot of questions. And, of course, it's going to take the phone showing up to finally answer a lot of these questions. Market expectations, performance, price, reception. Like, there's just a lot. But I'm excited. And I've really enjoyed for this last year my iPhone Air. I like that phone a lot, even though it's basically a failure from a market perspective. But that doesn't mean that it's not good and people don't enjoy it. Just like the S25 Edge, a lot of people love and enjoy that phone. I expect a lot of people will love and enjoy the iPhone Fold. I don't think it'll be a one-off, and we'll see. We'll see what happens when it gets here. And I fully expect it to be here when the iPhone 18 show up in September. So that's all I've got. That's kind of my thoughts on the iPhone Fold. If that's even what the name ends up being, we'll see what the name ends up being, but maybe that one sticks. I don't know. But I wanted to talk about this. I had a lot of people want to get my thoughts and feelings after my last video on the Z Fold 8 Wide. So, yeah, let me know what you think. And if you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, please, of course, go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And apparently, when I go out in the sun, I need sunscreen now because missing more and more of my hairline as each passing year goes by. Yeah, my wife and our son and his best friend and his girlfriend went skydiving yesterday. So I was standing outside in the sun with I actually had my my Vivo X300 Ultra with my camera kit lens, which, please, Apple, give us a phone that has cool lenses like this. Because, yeah, I was able to take some amazing photos with it. Maybe I'll come back and make a video about that, because I took a lot of photos. But yeah, so I got a little bit of sun exposure while they got some altitude exposure and jumped out of perfectly good airplanes at 10,000 feet. They had a great time. It's not really for me. People ask if I want to go. I maybe would entertain the idea, but I just have too much damage to my spine that I'm not allowed to do those things. I'm not allowed to run, much less jump out of a perfectly good airplane, according to my neurologist. So, yes, but it's not something that I would maybe put past me if maybe in another life, if I'm reincarnated with a spine that doesn't have 7 herniated discs, I might jump out of a plane at some point. But anyway, so that's all I've got. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you have a great weekend, well, rest of your weekend, because it's Sunday now, and June starts tomorrow. So we're getting closer and closer. So that's all I got. As always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.